Let's start with the big story that we are tracking this morning, where the Afghan Foreign Minister Rabbani has spoken to his Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj in connection with the kidnapping of the 7 Indians in Afghanistan. Rabbani has in fact assured India that the Afghan security forces are taking all necessary measures to rescue the Indian engineers and provide them with security. Now, a group of armed men have abducted 7 Indians in Afghanistan. Local Afghan officials claim that the Indians were kidnapped in the northern Baghlan province and were working on a power company KEC. They were reportedly kidnapped along with an Afghan colleague from Pole Khumri in the northern Baghlan province. Now, Harsh Goenka, who is the chairman of the RPG enterprise which owns KEC, has issued a statement. He said, and I quote, "Request Sushma Swaraj and the Ministry of External Affairs to help rescue 7 of our managers from the kidnapping in Afghanistan. #KEC. And we also earlier spoke with Nazir Najm, who is the deputy spokesperson at the Baghlan Governor Office earlier. Listening to what he had to tell us.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate and heartbroken that today morning, approximately on 9 o'clock, 7 electricity Indian engineers and 1 Afghan driver were about to visit from the Khojalwan electricity substation, which is now under the construction. Unfortunately, in the Kashmir area, they were abducted by Taliban's regional commander, namely Mullah Shaheen, and they shifted to the Uzghari area, which is under the hand of Taliban. So our national police and army are trying to release them from the Taliban as soon as possible, because they were at the service of Afghan people, and they did a great job, and we are trying to, as soon as possible, release them from the Taliban.
All right, so that is what the Afghans have to say about this kidnapping. And this, remember, is not the first time that Indians have been targeted in Afghanistan. There have been instances in the past, and my colleague Amitabh Revi brings you more.
Indians have often been in the crosshairs in Afghanistan. Indians have been targeted before, as have Indian assets. Some of the incidents that have taken place in the recent past include the kidnapping of an Indian woman who worked for an NGO, the Aga Khan Foundation. Judith D'Souza was kidnapped in broad daylight from the middle of Kabul in June 2016 and subsequently released just 44 days later. You're seeing pictures of her with the Prime Minister and with the Foreign Minister after her release. One of the other attacks that targeted Indians was in 2015, where a guest house was attacked. This is a guest house that we've all traveled to and lived in before, and 4 Indians who worked for ministries in Afghanistan or other development projects were killed in that attack. An attacker got in with a gun during a musical performance and then went room to room and killed, among others, 4 Indians. In June 2014, an Indian Catholic priest was kidnapped. This is in Herat in the west of Afghanistan, bordering Iran. And Father Alexis Prem Kumar was released over a year later in 2015. Again, pictures of him after his release with the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister. In 2010, there were 2 guest houses in Kabul that were attacked, and 6 Indians were killed, including 2 unarmed army majors. They were doctors there. There were another 5 Indians from the army who were injured in that attack. They were all unarmed. They were providing medical assistance and training to Afghanistan and the various hospitals there. One of the big attacks that took place was on the Indian embassy in 2009, where 17 people were killed, most of them Afghans. But this was a precursor to one of the most high-profile targetings of Indians, which took place in 2008. Again, an attack on the Indian embassy in Kabul, where over 58 people, most of them Afghans, were killed, but high profile in the sense that the Indian Defense Attaché, Brigadier Mehta, political councillor V. Rao, and 2 ITBP guards, Roop Singh and Pathania, were killed. Those ITBP guards, in fact, prevented the suicide bomber in his Toyota Camry from entering the Indian embassy, the old Indian embassy, and causing more damage. Most of these attacks were blamed by intelligence, the US intelligence and Afghan intelligence, to the Haqqani network that is based in Pakistan. In 2003, The Indian ambassador there at that point of time, Vivek Arju, was responsible in getting 2 kidnapped engineers released. That's the hope that the 7 Indian engineers who have been kidnapped in Baghlan will also hopefully have.